Hello everyone, welcome to my new video. This is about how to run Arduino IDE Linux under Windows. This is a follow-up video of my earlier video in which I showed how to run Linux applications under video using the WSL Windows subsystem for Linux. So instead of writing long commands and using the prompt in this video, I'm going to share how you can run this Arduino IDE for Linux through a single click. Let me show you what I mean. If I click on this icon, this taskbar icon on my PC, you will see that the Arduino IDE window will appear. So this is my Arduino IDE for Linux. If I go to File Preferences, you can see it says /home/ATI/Arduino. So this is Linux path. So this is my Linux window. It took some while to load, like 30-40 seconds, but this loaded through a single click. Let's see how this is done. Right now my setup is I am using a second gen i7, that is Dell M6600. My OS is Windows 11 22H2 and WSL2 with kernel version 5.10.102.1 and Ubuntu 20.04, and the Arduino IDE for Linux is 2.1.1. So let's create. The first step is to create a shortcut for Arduino IDE for Linux under Windows. First, we need to find Files, Ubuntu, Shortcut under Windows. So when I click on my Windows icon and go to all apps, so you can see this there is Files, which is under Ubuntu, and also I have this Ubuntu shortcut. So what I noticed is when I installed Arduino IDE, or sorry, the Nautilus application under this Windows 11, this shortcut automatically appears in all my apps. So I got this shortcut, and if I click on this shortcut, the file manager of Linux just run uh, without clicking on the without running the command and then running the Nautilus. So this file manager automatically runs with a single click. But when I install Arduino, just like I installed this file manager, how did I install this file manager? It was explained in my last video. So the same way I installed Arduino, but it was not the latest Arduino 2.1.1. It was the last version of Arduino IDE. So I have to follow these steps which are I am explaining in this video. So if this can run with a single click, this file manager, I should be able to run Arduino IDE with a single click. So let's move to our next slide, which is open location of this shortcut. So let me close this, and I can open location from here, open file location. So this is the whole path, and this is my shortcut. So start program, start menu programs, and I got this shortcut. Great. So this is complete. So let's move to our next steps. The next step is to rename Arduino IDE and run few commands. So first I have to rename my image file. This is my image file. So if I have to rename, I can press F2 or can right click and rename. So let's rename this to, for easy reference, Arduino 2.appimage. So I have renamed this file. Now I have to run this command in the prompt. So let's run our into where it is. Here it is. So I have to run this command chmod sorry chmod a plus x Arduino 2 dot app image. So there is no command. This means this is done. So if I say directory, you can see the file is here, the Arduino to app image. And now I have to run this and to see if it runs. So if I say Arduino IDE 2 dot app image. So either I can run this. Oh, sorry, Arduino. What I'm doing. So sorry. What I have to do is I have to run this from the file manager. So I will double click on this image and my program will load in like 30 seconds on my system. Here it is. This has been loaded and you can see we are in Linux. Okay, so this step is also done. So the next step is to create a copy of files shortcut and edit it to replace with Nautilus instead of Nautilus Arduino 2.appimage. So this was the file shortcut we earlier opened. So first we create a copy of this. Then right click. Let's see the properties. And this is the command. If you can see, it's a long command. So instead of Nautilus, we are going to type Arduino 2.app image, right? And apply, OK. And we are going to edit this name too and write Arduino IDE and let's delete this and press enter. So let's run this. Let's see if our windows open. All right, there are two things I have done after pausing the video. First one is that I have copied the shortcut from the shortcut location to my desktop. And then in the properties, what I have done is instead of just simply writing name of the application, I have to add this dot and slash before the application name. I hope that you can see it. Let me zoom it a bit for you. You can see that I have added this dot and slash before the image. And after running the shortcut, I have this Arduino IDE for Linux open for me. So this next step already done, which was check if that shortcut runs. It runs. So next step is to create a batch file because I can use this shortcut, but the issue is, if you recall, we have to attach our USB uh, to USB in Linux to upload the sketch to our boards. So we can't do by simple just one click. We have to run two different commands. So one is to run this Arduino IDE for Linux, and the second is to attach USB. So next step would be to combine these both commands. So let's create a batch file to attach USB/P this port in Linux. Right click, new. It's going to be a text document. Let's say this will be my USB batch .bat. So this is a batch file with the extension of bat. Yes, I want to change it. Right click and show more options and edit. So in this batch file, I should have my command to attach the USB. If you recall, this is the command from the last video that we use for to attach my USB with Linux. So I want to run this command in PowerShell, and the command to run is this. If I add these things, the commas and this bracket and end with this command will run through a batch file. So I'm not going to explain what is a batch file and what it does. Uh, I hope that if if you are trying to run Linux under Windows, you know what it is. So file, save, close, and if I run this, double click on this my command, so a window will appear. Here it is. So it is trying to attach right now. So was some error. Let me see what it was. So let's see what it says. Let me go to property. Edit this. More options. Edit. Let me get my command. This Control C. Here is my PowerShell. Here it is. Control V. What is the error? Access denied requires administrative privileges. Okay. Why administrative privileges? Anyone else? Let me try. Back my WSL list. Okay. Actually the device has been moved from 3-4 to 6-4. I have to use the 6-4. So this was the problem. Do remember that all these commands are from my last video, so that's why I'm not explaining what I'm doing right now. So this is my administrator window. I have to once do this. not this. Here I have to say 6-4. Once done, that's it. I don't need this anymore. And now I have to edit my batch file where it was. Properties. Why do I always go to properties? I have to edit this, and instead of 3-4, it has to be 6-4. Let's close this, save this, and run this. It is. Let's see if this got attached. So my USB is attached in Linux now, and if I go to my Linux window, so if you can see there is a USB available. So this is USB port available in Linux now. Right. So this is done through batch files. Now I have two commands. Let's close this. Let's close this also. Yes. So I can run Arduino IDE through this shortcut, and I can attach my USB also. Let's combine these two in one single batch file. So let's create a copy of this batch file, Control-C, Control-V, rename it to combined file, right? Let's take properties of, this time we have to go to properties of this Arduino IDE shortcut here, and let's copy this whole command, the target, Control-C, close it, right click on the combined and edit it. So the first line should be to run this AppImage and then attach the USB, because if we try to attach first, the PowerShell command will not run because it requires Linux to run first, and then it will attach the COM port. So let's close this and try to run this combined file. So we are at step number 11, where the batch file magic will happen. All right, so my Arduino IDE is open, but you can see in the background the command for attach the port is not visible. Actually, it didn't run. So if I close this Arduino IDE, you can see that now the second command is running, and it has attached. But the thing is, so once the first command is complete, then my batch file is running the second command, and I don't want my batch file to wait till I close my Arduino IDE window. So what I will do is I will stop this batch file, terminate. I will go to, again, edit it, and I will add start before this first command. Okay, let's see what the start will do. So you can see just after running the first command, it is trying to auto attach the port, and now I'm getting the error because the Linux is not running. and this batch file is trying to attach the port. So now this is another problem. Okay, so let me pause so that Arduino IDE can load meanwhile. So I think this is because what I can recall is that this is because the device is already attached, and if I press Control C, if I press Control C here, oh, what happened? I pressed. So Control C, terminate batch job. Yes. So maybe the attachment doesn't stop because it terminated the batch file, but not the attachment of the port. Maybe I have to log off and log in again, but I will do it at the end of the video. And if that works, I will leave it in the description that it worked. So uh, right now I will continue with my video recording. So the idea is to run this uh, batch file through my taskbar, and if you understand, if I right click on here, there's no option of pinning it to my taskbar, right? So what I need to do is I need to rename my batch file to exe. Yes. And if I right click on this, so now I can pin to taskbar. Okay. So, but if I go to properties, there is no option of changing the icon. What I'm going to do is right click, create a shortcut of this exe file, right click, properties, change properties, change icon, and maybe I can have this question mark. Okay, lie. Okay, and instead of shortcut, if I say this is combined file 1.exe, so just can I attach this? Yep, now it's saying pin to taskbar. So let me say Arduino IDE, IDE Linux, and right click, two more options, pin to taskbar. So let me show you my main screen. Okay. So it is. Here is the question mark. Let me click on this. Oh, because this is exe. So now I have to change it to what? Shortcut. Or what I need to do is right click, properties. Instead of exe file, I need to run the batch file. So I change the shortcut reference here. Okay, close it and rename this to batch file. Let's try to run this again. Why this is saying so? Will it run now? Okay, I think I changed the shortcut here, but what I need to do is right click here or take the properties. Let me pause and correct this and tell you how to do it. So this is what we need to done. We need to do rename batch file to exe, create shortcut of exe file, pin the shortcut to taskbar, rename batch file to bat, change property of taskbar link, and then click and run. So let's do it. So let's rename this to exe. Yes, I want to change it. Right click, show more options, create a shortcut. And if you want to change the icon of this shortcut, change icon. Let's say we can have this, whatever. Question mark again. Okay. Bye. Now this right click, we need to into taskbar. Into taskbar. Let me show you this a new icon on my taskbar. Next step is to rename the batch file. So let me hide it for time being. So this is my batch file. We renamed it to exe. I will rename it back to batch. Yes, the next step is to rename the link. So I have to right click here, and go into the properties. So in this properties window, I have to change from exe to bat. Apply. Okay. And now I can click on this. And now you can see, can you see? Yeah. Now you can see that this is running and is going to load my Arduino IDE. For Linux, I have to wait for a few seconds. All right, folks, this is my Arduino window. And if I go to the preferences, you can see this is my Linux path. I can close it, and here I can click to load the USB attachment. Maybe it attached. Yeah, this time it attached. So if I go to Linux, you can see this is my USB port available now. So this was it. I believe I am sorry for the very long 30 minutes video, but at times you can't, you are bound by it that you do it. It takes time. So If you like this video, or give it a thumb up, this will help other users to find this video. Thank you very much.